here on the favorites decks page. Alright, Blue-Red Alliance. Alliance in this case refers to this card, Improbable Alliance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 blue fairy token. Then it has an expensive draw loot, but mostly you're playing this because your second draw lets you make a fairy token. Cards like Royal Scions, Witching Well, Brazen Borrower, Crackling Drake. These are, or this doesn't draw, but a lot of our stuff draws cards to trigger this. Things like Witching Well, Thrill, and Chemisters even let us trigger Improbable Alliance on the opponent's turn. So in addition to just being like a Bitter Blossom style effect, this also can make 2 tokens per turn without costing life, which is pretty sweet. Doge for Cone, thank you for the 8 months. Welcome back. I think the change, my sideboard's a couple cards different. I don't know exactly what's different. I don't keep a change log of decks, and we've been playing a lot of things, but the sideboard's a couple cards off from the last one we played, so. Hey, Brogsby, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think there's a chance I want to fit a 4th Royal Scion into this deck somewhere, but I'm also not 100% sure where I want to put that, so could go either way. If you comment on the changes to Twitch ads, are you referring to the picture-in-picture change? Because that change is obviously very good. It'll let non-subs see that we're actually taking breaks when I say we're taking breaks, and that they're not missing anything. Adventure cards do not count towards Crackling Drake. Adventure cards are creatures everywhere. Man, every time we play this deck, like, haven't played against green-red monsters at all today, to load this deck up, immediately queue into green-red monsters. Twitch is making a change, so the advertisements starting soon are going to be picture-in-picture, which basically means people will still be able to see the stream while the ad's running. So there was a video of an example on Twitch's Twitter, but basically people who are seeing an advertisement will still see the stream above chat in a smaller view. Sometimes you have awkwardly small drakes. Have you considered Keftin as an alternative? No, I don't think so. I think the fact that this triggers Alliance is worthwhile. I agree with you that this card's doesn't always have a ton of power in this deck, but I think it's big enough of the time that it's worth playing. I mean, the end goal for advertisements on platforms like Twitch and YouTube should ideally be that they happen at times or are positioned in a way where people don't feel obligated to ad block them, right? The goal should be people want to support the stuff that they're watching and the ad's not offensive, basically. And not offensive in terms of the content, but offensive in terms of like how it's appearing and like what you're missing and stuff. Aeonius, thank you for the 4th month of Prime. Welcome back.
I love everything from deer to dinosaurs. My, how you've grown.
Part of the carrot to sub is you get more content by taking subs. That's one way to look at it, Volpert. But I think you're missing a very important part, which is that you're turning off potential viewers by making them miss content. And I'd rather people don't miss content. 'Cause I know not everybody's in a financial position to sub. Not to mention that, like, when I'm doing this as a job, taking regular breaks are probably something I should have been doing anyways. So, like, not only is it better for non-subs for obvious reasons, but, like, it also forces me as a person to, like, do that. There's something to be said about building goodwill, too, with the people who are watching your content. Like, someone who's unable to sub, that's, like, not randomly leaving because you're spamming them with ads, and then they're missing content. Thanks for the 18 months, Scooter. So, like, as always with everything in business, there's give and takes. But in my opinion, I stand to gain. Not only is it the nice thing to do, but like, I'm a capitalist, chat. Believe it or not, I do this because it's my job and it makes me money. That's part of the reason I'm here. I like Magic, but in my opinion, I stand to make more money by not cutting people out with advertisements and having them miss content. By not chasing viewers away, it makes me more money. That's my speculation from my experience doing this as a job. This is probably a matchup where I want Disdainful Strokes, huh? They have Planeswalkers and things that are huge. Bonecrusher Giant's probably kind of medium. Thanks for the sub, Gifty Scooter. Good morning. I eventually got to catch Marty. That's it's a long road, but you're on your way there. Yeah, you can also make the argument, especially here, that, like, chat's a bonus for subbing, so you get a discount on deck queue submissions for subbing, right? There's still plenty of upside for subbing. And also, to toot my own horn for a second, I'm pretty confident that my ideas that apply to, like, encouraging people to subscribe are probably better than a lot of other Magic streamers, because I'm definitely I'm probably the most subscribed to Magic streamer on Twitch. I'm not always the most viewed. There's people like Nox and Caleb who tend to have more viewers than me on average, but my viewer to sub ratio is better than theirs, I know for certain. Do you have viewership metrics that show a time series of view count during a stream and it shows when you... I don't know what you mean by that, Volpert. I definitely want a 4th land here, right? I probably don't need a 5th just yet. Is there a Legacy Arc field deck? No. That style of deck is way too slow and grindy for things like Modern and Legacy. I don't have a good exact metric offhand why sticks, but for context, my subscriber points float around 3,000, generally speaking. Somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, the modern Scapeshift deck playing field that is in no way comparable to Yarok field, though. Yeah, I'm gonna concede. This matchup's unwinnable. Feels bad to hit that matchup variance, right? Like, this deck seems reasonable, but the big red monsters are basically impossible. And I think the green red monsters is probably worse for you than, like, the green black monsters and stuff like that too. It was in the Legacy section. I mean, if you look at the deck list and you look at the format, that says Historic. So you're right that Historic sorts under Legacy because it's alphabetical. But if you look, it says Historic there. There is going to be a Yarok field deck in Historic. I'm excited to build that one. I have no idea if the grindy matchups need improving. So again, my focus is always problem solution. If the grindy matchups feel bad after playing this deck a bunch, I would look for ways to improve it. But I don't currently know if those matchups are bad and thus something I need to fix. They want field in Modern because the interactive matchups, sometimes you can't just combo kill them. Sometimes they need an extra blockers and stuff, and they can't kill them right away. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub, Stealth Yellow. I appreciate you keeping me employed here this month with that. That's a card. That's a good draw. So you get to go ahead and kill this one, and then plus this again, and we can Bonecrusher Giant something else this turn too, which is great. Do I want an extra Royal Scions? I think I do. They're going to kill this eventually, right? The Chemister's Insight's not looking particularly useful anytime soon. Oh, that's interesting. They're playing Cavalcade in there. It's a neat idea. They have Evolving Wilds. Probably a little bit at some budget choices in their list too, if I had to venture to guess. Let's stomp on this one.
My assistants are painfully slow.
So Scions is going to 1 here. I'm going to start with this, so I have the most cards in my hand to make a decision when I loot here. Yep, don't really need a 6th land. There's a Sanitarium Skeleton, M20 staple, 1/2 for 1. You can pay 3 to return it from your graveyard to your hand, so the slow grind, if you would. Mardu Knights was awesome.
Retreat is a valid strategy.
It was really, really clean. I was actually really impressed. The 3-color aggro decks tend to suck, and that one definitely did not feel that way. Yep. Been watching YouTube vids for a while and felt the need to support good content. Well, I appreciate that, Stealth Yellow. Welcome to a live one. Hope your weekend's going swell. Ooh, that's pretty good. Is this better than Crackling Drake for later? I don't know. I'm gonna just bin. Is it greedy to bin this? It's probably greedy to bin this. Let's do it anyways. Is it greedy to bin this? Yes. All right, do it anyways. I feel like they're like not beating these 2 cards together, most likely. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Stomp, stomp.
You have the heart of a coward.
Heart of a coward, you heard her.
Are you okay? Stay away from my brother.
My question regarding Phoenix is, what problem does my deck have that's being solved by playing Phoenix? I don't think there's a meaningful reason to play that card. This deck is more of a control deck at its core that can pivot to a more aggressive shell when it needs to. You have killed my 1/1.
I enjoy the proper application.
Borrower seems kind of medium here. Have I mentioned that Bonecrusher Giant's awesome yet, by the way? I feel like I haven't mentioned that Bonecrusher Giant is awesome yet.
I will learn what nobody yet knows.
Yeah, I agreed. The body plus removal combo on Bonecrusher is quite excellent. I concur with that. I don't actually gain life, so the Tibalt doesn't really matter. I suppose maybe I shouldn't discard the Scions there, because they're going to be able to kill the Scions and play instead of combat this turn. Yeah, all of the rare and mythic adventure cards are super reasonable. Relatively pushed and very good. Pretty easy sideboarding here. We'll trim the Brazen Borrowers and the Chemister's Insights and bring in a Shock, a Flame Sweep, and then 2 Pyromancers. Just good anti-aggro cards. I don't think I want Beacon Bolt here. Their deck doesn't really have larger creatures, so that's fine. One of the things that you'll see me do a lot when I'm looking at this deck list is you'll see me drag Bonecrusher Giant down to the 2 column. And the reason for that is it helps me visualize the curve of my deck better while sideboarding and deck building. Because this card is effectively a 2-mana deal 2 most of the time. So it helps me get that image in my head of like how my deck's going to be curving more consistently. And in a lot of situations, it's actually both, right? Like it's a 2 and a 3, which is one of the reasons why this card is so excellent. Yeah, Snapcaster Mage, depending on what your deck looks like, is frequently a 3 or 4 mana spell. And these adventure cards, depending on which half you're likely to cast first, you're likely to cast this. Our opponent put us on the play. Opponent's probably a little bit new to Magic. It's basically always correct to take the play in Magic, except in extreme corner cases. Alliance into Royal Scions is just like not a fair 2-3. Am I killing that? I'm gonna leave them priest for a turn. Famous last words.
I will steady your mind, Rowan.
And I will.
My plan is crystallizing.
Can I get a shout out to my friend John? He's getting married today. Have a wonderful wedding day, John. My best piece of marital advice is apologize early and often. What would the corner case be where you want to be on the draw? There's some Legacy Dredge. And there's some limited format for being on the draw is good.
Should we regroup?
Definitely.
No blocks. Rude. Rude. Am I just doing this now? I'm just gonna do this now because I can hit a land. Perfect. Super rewarded for doing that now. That's true. Narset Cannon wanted to be on the draw. Rip Narset Cannon. You were too pure for this world. Rip Narset Cannon. Gonna keep the opt there because they'll trigger the Alliance next turn. Block. If you want to see Narset Cannon, it's a deck that likely died with the Faithless Looting ban. There's videos on my YouTube channel. We played it a number of times. I'm gonna bottom that. I already have a Witching Well. Perfect. Losing Narset Cannon makes me wonder if the looting ban was really worth it. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. Alright, so we definitely want this Lava Coil, so we're basically just like milling the top card of our deck to get a 1-1. That sucks because that's a good card, but I definitely want to Lava Coil this. Were the possible modern playable cards in this expansion? Definitely Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is a busted card. It's gonna be very good in Modern. Alright, you have a couple of enchantments that don't do a whole lot. Yeah, Emery probably enables some combo shenanigans. We'll crack this Wishing Well on their turn to trigger the Alliance again. Drown in the Lock's a good one, I agree. Oko may or may not be modern playable. I don't know. I don't know if I'd buy Oko. I don't know if I buy Oko as modern playable. Oko's a maybe. That's true. That's fair. That's a very realistic assessment. Oko's going to get played in modern. Oh, I should have cracked this first, right? Because I could hit a shock. Awkward.
You have covered my back, Rowan.
Actually, this isn't even dying, right? Why does this card have so much loyalty, chat? Why does this card have so much loyalty? Why do 3-mana Planeswalkers go to 6? Does anybody know? Does anybody know why 3-mana Planeswalkers go to 6?
What the heck?
A quest of mystery.
Because it's a fairy tale.
Fighting so hard.
There are 2 planeswalkers, so double the hit points. That's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment. We got dumpstered by green red monsters. We just beat an aristocrats variation. I think the green red monsters matchup's pretty impossible for this deck. But I also don't think, unless the format develops in a way that's super favorable for that archetype, that's a reason to write it off. Ectomanic, thank you for the 11 months. My day has been going so. It's been a great last couple days. Set release, set release and rotations like Christmas. Rotation especially. Mulligan this hand, no red source. Yeah, this hand's super reasonable. I'm gonna bottom a Drake here. Yeah, I think green X in general is probably hard for this deck, but I think, yep, yes please. I think green red is harder than green black or green blue. The haste monsters and Domri are both exceptionally difficult. Yeah, the new set's been great. I think I'm just gonna kill their 2/2 here. And then next turn I can go Alliance plus Mountain, and the following turn I can go Alliance plus Op to make some 1/1s. Are you ready? Bonecrusher's ready. Yeah, the fact that they printed Fry into the format and then immediately printed a bunch of blue planeswalkers that you can't fry is kind of tilting. It's like, what are we doing? That's probably a good thing, Han Solo, because Bonecrusher's going to be ready for the next 2 years. Oh yeah, that's true. As a connoisseur of terrible creature decks, this card is definitely playable in terrible creature decks. Alright, I don't think I wait to play this one. I think I want to just make some 2/2s this turn, or do I? Do I just Bonecrusher this and then make extra next turn? Yeah, maybe that's the line. Alright, I've talked myself into it. Okay, here's a lesson. I've made a terrible mistake. Why have I made a terrible mistake? What did I mess up? What card have I allowed myself to get savaged by here? By letting them get to declare attackers, they now have Embercleave available to them. So if they have the equipment, they get to save their creature and deal a bunch of damage to us. So I definitely should have killed their Prince Charming before I let them declare their attackers there. Spawn of Mayhem has Flample for some reason, because every flying creature we print in 2018 and 2019 has Trample, because one evasion's not good enough. Dream Eater doesn't have, sorry, it's mostly the black flyers that Flample, right? Alright, so we're hoping to draw a Lava Coil here, which we have 4 of, or a Thrill, which we have 4 of, so we have 8 good draws here. Alright. Don't Don't call it a comeback, chat. And by that I mean definitely don't call it a comeback because we're about to get burned out from 5. Oh no! Oh no! Yikes! The Legion's been ended, chat. The Legion's been ended. Who's got 2 thumbs and is dead to a shock? This guy right here. How many times do you think they're going to teach us that lesson, chat? All right, 3 shots. 3 shots of the Lava Coil. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, do 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 do. All right, the first 2 times triple blocking didn't work. It has to work the 3rd time, right? That's just the rules. I didn't make the rules, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. Think I do this.
We'd better hope you delay our festival.
Ooh, buddy old pal. Oh, buddy old pal. This is one of those games where we're like super in this game right up until the point where they like rip the burn spell and kill us. They also showed us main deck they also showed us a main deck copy of Legion's End, which just like ends our entire career as well. Yeah, I think that deck's very good, Narek. I think that's currently my lead choice to submit for the E-League tournament. Why did we pitch Flame? Why should I keep Flame Sweep? I would like to answer your question with a question. What does Flame Sweep do for me? That was incredibly rude, opponent. Like, am I really at a shortage of, like, people trying to conserve flyers? Am I really at a shortage of flyers here? Is that a thing? Do we only have to fade 1 more draw step here? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Please brick 1 more time. Do 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 do. All right, now the real question is, can I beat Cleave here? I think I can, right? I just have to put... No, I can't, because it's gonna give him +1/+1. Yeah, we're dead to Cleave. That's unfortunate. Right? No matter how I slice this, we're dead to Cleave. It's a good thing this Bitter Blossom doesn't ping us, right? Oh no! Oh no! I've made a terrible mistake. I've made a terrible mistake. Yikes. Good golly. Ended my entire career, chat. All right. We're not dead yet. They just like have some time to get some redraws now. It's still 11 months, Odo the Bobcat. They have more redraws at a burn spell. Bottom. Du-du-du-du. All right. Hopefully they finish their brick house this turn. Survey says. Oh no. All right. I'm not familiar enough with demons and angels and stuff to know if there's one that killed us there or not. That was a little bit close. It's a little bit closer than we were a little comfortable with, but you know, skin of our teeth and all that. Don't call it a comeback, chat. Except that's what it was. All right. What are they doing? What was killing us? They had Spawn of Mayhem. They had Spawn. They had Kalia. They had the Murderous Rider. It's an Irencrag Pyromancer matchup. Yeah, kills their two. Actually, Bacon. It's probably a Bacon Bolt matchup, huh? How do we feel about Brazen Borrower? Brazen Borrower is probably pretty medium if they're on a bunch of adventure cards into the battlefield effects. Brazen Borrower is just like a pretty high floor card. You board it out a lot, but it's a good flexible answer that also applies pressure game one. And we're bringing in Irencrag, so this is probably a fine swap, like threat for threat. Hey, Pithy, thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back. I was about to say it's Saturday morning, but it's just, we just rolled into the noons for cornfield time. Speaking of things we're going to roll into, we're up to almost 3,000 people. Y'all are crazy. Hope you're enjoying the Eldraine release. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Seraph for the skills. Yeah, we're already on 4. I'd expect them to have Seraph. We're already on 4 Lava Coils. I think we're okay there. This hand is very close, but unfortunately not a keep. This hand's excellent. Sign me up. I'm going to bottom the extra thrill here. Opponent went to 5, it looks like. That is over 2,000. I am planning to stream today for as long as we stay above 2,000 viewers. So if you enjoy my standard content, make sure you stick around. Wishing Well and Op just gives us so many chances to play Alliance on 2. It's great. He says as he tops this Alliance for turn 2. Man, why do we even play this card? Just scry both to the top. What a useless card. It doesn't even. Oh no! Oh no! They stole our property, chat. Oh no! You know what they say? The pride cometh before the fall, chat. The pride she cometh before the fall. We let our hubris get the best of us. He is in fact coming for our booty. This is an apt description. Looking for a threat at this point. Alliance, Royal Scion, Drake. I guess we technically have a threat over here, huh? This card's so good. I'm gonna play the basic as opposed to the Fabled Passage for now, because the thinning's pretty statistically insignificant, and there's also a bunch of cards in the bottom of my deck I don't really want to redraw, so I don't want to shuffle them back in. Kill my thing, take 4, deal Reno. Hey, I hope your recovery, or whatever you're in there for, works out alright, Ninja Dave. Good to have you here. Swing and a miss. Yikes. That's definitely not what you're going for. How do you get the Fox? With the most powerful card in Magic the Gathering, your credit card, you too could have a Fox. Comes with the Mastery Pass for the season. Thanks for the 7 months, Leaves. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm gonna keep this. We got a scry 2. What's the worst that could happen? Again, just to hammer good decision making into people watching, play Once Upon a Time on your turn after you draw your card. Fine, I'll make good decisions. It was right there, chat! I let you talk me out of it! I could have been greedy! I could have been greedy! You see what happens when I make... This is why I choose not to make good decisions. This is why my decisions are usually terrible.
Steady your mind, Rowan.
And I will inspect.
I will learn what nobody yet knows.
How did you feel about normal red black versus the wrinkle crutch? I think I actually like the base black build better, Sig. And I actually I put what's hopefully my preferred version of aristocrats up on my website. So I've started fleshing out the standard deck pages on my website again. So if those are something you're interested in, you can find my current aristocrats draft up there.
My answers lie in the cold truth.
What's your preference in 3-color decks, Fabled Passage or Scry lands? I don't want too many tapped lands. I think most of my builds have like 2 to 3 Scries and then 4 Fabled Passage. I think the fixing and flexibility of Fabled Passage being a triple land is really valuable.
You have the heart of a coward.
All right, so we're looking for a shock or a lava coil here.
I enjoy the proper
Crackling Drake's like also not bad. It blocks wrinkle. Should have scried there first probably, huh? He says as he draws a land and then tops a good card. Wrinkle as a card is super powerful. Really just strong effect. Hero's downfall, Fox. It's Hero's downfall. I'm gonna block here to make them pump this to kill my walker. Use their mana.
Run, Will.
Run, Will! Run! Run! Now, the problem here is they've got Rhodosaurus Rex up over here, who's going to give us a little bit of trouble. Yep. Oh, no. We can't beat that card. We can't beat Henge with it. I think I keep this because this plus a lava coil. So like I'm gonna lava coil this. Nah, I'm gonna bottom this. I'm gonna lava coil this and then smack them for 6. Yeah, I think the hope is we like hit an alliance and then alliance makes chump blockers and we race them with the Drake while we chump block out from under the Rhodosaurus Rex. On improbable, but not impossible. Oh gosh, they have spawn? Yeah, that's a 5/5. Think we're donezo. Yeah, the green stompy matchups for this deck are pretty hard. I think that's going to rule this one out for me. For what deck I'm sending in. Probably just going to send in the green-black deck. Yeah, the Golgari Henge deck's been the most competitive thing we've played, I feel like. Yeah, like this could trade here theoretically, but the Henge is just like so much card advantage we can't keep up with it. And like, honestly, there's something to be said about that, right? Like, people are complaining about things like Oko, but like, if you look at the format as a whole, like the things that people are doing, there's a lot of really powerful things in this format that like aren't Oko. Bonecrusher's like kind of expensive, and I think I want to board in the Irencrag Pyromancer here to just try and race them a little bit. All right, let's sit down for a bit, shall we? We've not Elemental Whisperer. As always, you can find my website and my YouTube channel has everything that we've played on it here. So not gotten to Team Elementals yet. Sure. Dub's Crackling Drake's probably one of our better starts in this matchup, if only because it allows us to apply a lot of pressure. They have more removal than we do threats though, which makes this matchup a challenge as well. Like we can't kill their things a lot of the time with our red removal, and they can kill ours. Huh? It's probably double removal for later. Maybe I'm just supposed to thrill a possibility here to be mana efficient, like ditch the Bonecrusher. Although I suppose if they like turn to Growth Chamber Guardian, I want to use this, so it's a reason to hold on to it. Yeah. I could have just passed with this up though, and then like this turn 3, I could have opted plus played a 2-mana spell. Yeah, it's kind of inefficient with my resources this game. Yeah, that's kind of unbeatable. Yeah, I guess that like gives us half a second, huh? Hey, let me Pikachu. Thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I agree, Nifty. The card's incredibly difficult to deal with if your opponent, if you have like Oko out. Veil of Summer. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one down. I think this deck's probably too cute. If it's competitive, it's probably fringe competitive at best. Again, it's really gonna depend on like how the format shakes out. These blue-red decks, regardless of standard, modern, or wherever you're playing them, largely hinge around being competitive if their removal spells can line up correctly into what the opponents are playing. So like, if Lava Coil, Shock, Bonecrusher, Flame Sweep, if these cards aren't killing creatures that other people are playing, then this deck's probably not particularly competitive. So like, if the green X Henge decks like we've been playing and running into tend to be popular, then I would not expect this archetype to be competitive. However, a smaller aggro decks like things like Knights or Cavalcade or other control decks where you can like bob and weave and have counter spells and good card advantage matter, then this could be reasonable. So whether or not this ends up being good is really going to depend on where the format ends up settling at overall. It's 12:30 already. That explains why I'm hungry. All right. I'm going to run a quick ad break, and I'm going to grab a salad and scarf that down really quick while that runs. And when we get back, let's import this one. We had to cut the line for Mardu Adventures. So we're going to play a little bit of this pile of stuff. We're going on an adventure, chat. Be back.